Mr. Harris, behave yourself.
Morning, everybody. Is there anybody online, Anita? On Zoom? All right, Josh is online. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Let's start with the roll call, please.
Al Born here.
Jerry Good here.
Cabrera here.
Gamelke here.
Jones here.
Mijares here.
John View here.
Salazar here.
Thank you, everybody. Everybody is here. Jerry, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? Does anybody have anything? Prior meeting minutes, did anybody get a chance, everybody get a chance to go over the minutes? Can you turn your mic on, Jerry? Please. Cal.
There we go. Got it. There's 2 points that I wanted to bring up. On the second page of the minutes, item number 6, new business, the TABA update, drop down to line number 9. And David, ferret that out for me. The word caisson kind of represents the complexity of the English language, where sounds are the same, spellings are different, and a different context. And I think it should be spelled CAISSONS.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah. The second point is on the next page. And this is under the board chair report. The last line in that paragraph. John, should we have a better definition of laundry mat? Because it doesn't really designate any business.
I don't know the name of the laundromat. Everybody knows the laundromat needs to be painted, so I just said
Yeah.
that. I don't even know the name of that laundromat. Does anybody?
Historically, we might not be able to know what we're meaning.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the proper name of the laundromat that is?
You can find out.
So you're saying that we should have the proper name of the laundry instead of laundromat?
It would be best for our history. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Generally, like me, 10 minutes after it's written, I forgot already. So I need it.
Midland Coin Laundry? I think you're right.
Something.
Google
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Midland.
Midland Coin.
Those are the only 2 that I have, and with those 2 amendments, I would move to approve them as amended.
Second. Got it.
Board, we have an update. It's the Midland Coin Laundry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Thank you for catching that, Al.
Sir. And
Can you spell caisson again so I get that right? How you spelled it, please?
CAISSON,
Okay.
plural would be S.
Okay.
And George, was there someone from Main Street that wanted to talk today? Is that why they're?
We're not here. We're not at that part yet.
Yeah.
No, oh, no, okay.
There will
To update the agenda, okay.
We're not there yet.
Okay,
Okay.
with those 2 amendments and the motion, I would call for the roll call vote. Born, yes.
Good, yes.
Cabrera, yes.
Gamelke, yes.
Jones, yes.
Mijares, yes.
You, yes.
Salazar, yes.
And just since we're on this, Anita, can we, from Al Bourne is usually the one that would sign for this and not me. My name is on there today and I don't mind signing, but it is Al Bourne's position. So for next moving forward, Thank you. Thank you, Al. Any public comment only on matters that are on the agenda? Public comment, nobody? Okay. New business. Would Tava like to give an update, please? Was Chris coming up for us? All right. The man, getting it done.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hanson, Tava House Properties. I think as most of you have probably seen, we opened up the eastbound right-hand turn lane into Center Street, which helps quite a bit. Haven't seen a tire blowout since we've done that.
I've used it, by the way. I made sure to use it to try. Yeah, it's really nice. No trailer, but
Within 2 weeks, we should have the westbound left-hand turn usable. There'll still be some stuff that has to happen, you know, but at least it'll be open to use. So that's moving, given our tight time frame of when we can actually close down 24. I think we're doing quite well between that and the weather. As far as the building's concerned, we're painting inside. We have about 90% of the kitchen equipment delivered and installed. Lots of stuff going on. All our rough inspections are complete. So now we're working on final inspections on each of the different trades. Getting close. We probably have 30 people every day out there working. So it's a busy place.
are you still on for your original opening date, end of March, beginning of April, earlier, later? What's your,
We're looking probably early April. Elevator should be installed and functioning by the end of the month. And so we're moving forward. Hopefully by the end of the month, all the life safety stuff will be done. Yeah, exciting times.
you couldn't have asked for a better winter for getting this project, keeping it going, that's for sure.
Well, what do they say? You're better off being lucky than good, right?
I think both are showing over there, luck with the weather, but it's a great project. It looks really nice. Just so you guys, everybody knows, you're more than welcome to reach out to them and take a tour of the building. They've offered that to all the GDA board members and anybody that wants to go. So they're more than welcome to show you guys around over there if anybody wants to go. It's a nice place. I've taken a tour. It's really nice. So, thank you very much.
Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Chris?
Okay.
I have one.
Oh, okay.
As far as, and I don't know I've been asked by a business owner about signage since Park Street is is it Park Street that's being turned off?
It is, yeah.
Does CDOT have any signage that's going into effect that might help people to know how to navigate around that? Or is that something that we as a city will have to try to do?
So the standard road signage will be installed. As far as a specific that there's no more left-hand turn there, I don't believe there'll be a sign for that.
There will be. So, I mean, the signage, at least I've concerned myself with, is the MUTCD standards that CDOT's going to require for traffic movement. I think you're looking more for directional signage, like how to get to this business.
Which I wouldn't think is on CDOT when I
And
bring
that's
it
going to
up,
be
but-
a different requirement,
Yeah.
not required by the.
right.
And any directional signs are bound by CDOT, so we will do what we can, but
Yeah. Yeah. They asked if the DDA would do it. I'm like, it's out of it's way above us. Like we can bring it up, but I know that it's quite a deal to get signs.
yeah. And I know in my conversations with staff, Main Street definitely will be looking at wayfinding and new street signage. So that's going to be a priority anyway for later this year.
Okay,
So I'm sure we'll incorporate that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Aaron, I had a question too regarding not necessarily Tava, but with that decel lane, you know, they've torn up that entire median. What's the do we have a plan for what that's gonna look like post?
It's gonna be hardcover, which was the city's request.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No weeds?
Hey,
Not for this
I
year.
don't think there's any guarantee.
There will be some cracks.
Specifically, it's gonna be hardcover. There's a requirement for CDOT, once the median reaches a certain width,
Yeah,
it needs to be the raised hardcover.
Okay.
to keep vehicles, so
Yeah.
there are portions that will be raised, but most of it, because it's so narrow.
Is that so a vehicle will high center instead of going across? Is that their hopes?
That is
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
okay, that does, sorry, then.
No, you're good.
At that.
Thank you very much, Tava. It's a big deal. Lots of people are talking about it. It looks great too. It really does. I've taken a drive around the parking lot. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, but I did, and it looks really nice. It really does. All right. Do we have Josh, don't we, online? Josh?
Good morning, Chair. How are you?
Good, thank you. We are to section B of number 6, and I want to know if you wanted to start us off in that discussion, please.
Yes, Chair, I'd be happy to. Good morning, Board.
Morning.
So as part of your packet, you'll receive the 2026 micro grant program for the DDA's 2026 season for your micro grants. I don't know if everyone's had a chance. I hope you've all had a chance to look at a couple revisions that were made to the program. The program pretty much follows what was in place last year, except for a few minor changes, or they could be big changes. That's why we're here to talk about it. So one of the first things that we really look at changing is down on page 3 of 7, under section 5, which is the award of grant. In here, as we discussed at the last meeting a little bit, and we have before, instead of having the grants come or the applications come to the entire board, we were looking at the idea of creating a grant committee, and then the grant committee would be able to have the authority to review and approve the grants, the applications, much on the same basis or on the same basis as the DDA board was approving grants in 2025, meaning that grants have to meet specific criteria and they have to show that they meet that criteria. And if they meet the criteria, then the grant committee approves the application. It's removing the subjectivity, much like it was last year.
Mhm.
We did include in an appeal process, which if the grant committee was to deny an application, the applicant would have the ability to appeal that decision to the entire board for the board to make the final decision. This would streamline the process in order to allow for grants to come in, be reviewed by staff to make sure the application is complete, then moved over to the grant committee. The grant committee would then have the ability to make an approval or a denial, or even ask for more information if it's necessary. And then that applicant could move forward with their project. If we move down to page 4, you'll see at the top, in the very end of the paragraph that kind of rolls over from the prior page, I just updated the amount of the grant program from $150,000 to $200,000, which was approved by the board. And the second full paragraph, this is the language that deals with the appeal, allowing the applicant to appeal the decision to the grant, to the board. And I put in here a appeal period of 21 days, basically 3 weeks, which would allow for that appeal to occur. So that way it's not just open for the entire process. They would actually have to make that appeal timely. On page 4 at the bottom, underneath section C, I removed the 120-day deadline. This is part of what we learned last year. Whenever grants happen to be approved at different periods of time, trying to track a single 120-day deadline sounds simple, but if those grants are approved at different time periods, you're tracking multiple different deadlines. So instead of trying to have a 120-day deadline, we just said everything has to be submitted or completed, the final report submitted to the city by 5 p.m. on September 30th, 2026.
Can I interrupt here and add something to that, please, Josh?
Of course.
We would also like to entertain the idea of no extensions.
Yes.
And I don't know if we had talked to you about that or if that been mentioned to you or not.
City staff mentioned that. And that I think is on the next page.
Okay.
So I can make that adjustment. If that's what if the board in general wants to not allow for an extension past the September 30th, 2026 deadline, or if you want to have a deadline be October 31st, 2026, and there would be no extension, that's up to y'all and city staff. I'm just here to change the language as directed.
Okay. Is that
And
something?
that goes into the next page. And if we can get through this, and then we'll definitely talk about it. Y'all can make adjustments at that time.
Okay.
So on page 5 at the top, we're still having grant agreements that will be in place. So basically the process would be that the committee would approve the project. The grant agreement would still be signed by the chair and the secretary, which is a requirement of your bylaws. And grant agreements are still needed to be in place for the same reasons they were in place last year, which is your typical liabilities, obligations, rights of each party. That first paragraph, it's really second full paragraph, I guess, which is the before the expiration of the September 30th, 2026 deadline. That just goes into the whole extension. If the board doesn't want that, we can end up taking that out, but we can talk about that here in a moment. Section 6 is the application procedures and deadlines. I'm going to rely on staff, city staff a lot, because they're the ones that are so gracious to allow for the applications to be submitted to them, and they're doing the review. So I've received some comments from them. I'm going to incorporate those into this. But in general, I would be relying on city staff to really give me an idea of what worked and what did not work for them last year. All right, and that is the major update. So you're really, again, looking at creation of the committee for approval and denial of an application. The committee would also be involved with approving and denying the final reports. Again, the purpose of the program is set up so it's not subjective, it's objective. Criteria have to be met. And I'm also hoping that instead of our office having to be as involved when it comes to creating reports to provide to the DDA on each and every single application and bringing each and every single application before the board, it will reduce the amount of overhead that the DDA is having to expend on the actual review and approval of the applications and the final reports. And so with that, I am open to questions, comments, and suggested revisions.
Chairman,
Yes, Al.
I have a question. Josh, on page 5, paragraph area 6, to apply, the third paragraph in that, review the dates that are mentioned there.
I haven't made any changes to that paragraph yet. This is still the program from last year. This paragraph in the language in section 6 will be updated once I'm informed from city staff what procedure they would like to see. So you can ignore the date that's on there right now.
It's
In
got
fact,
25 dates there, and that's what I was wondering about.
yes, sir, you are correct. In fact, what I would suggest is that we have more of an open application process. So that way, actually, let me phrase that. There's two different ways that we could do this. We can have another date that says all applications has to be received by a specific date, which is what we did last year, as you can see there. And then everything went to the board. The board made a decision. And then we sent out notices of awards, I believe towards the end of April or early May. For this year, what I would recommend is we can have a deadline by which all applications must be submitted. But if we have a committee in place, what I would recommend is that the committee be able to approve or deny those applications within a certain amount of time of receiving a complete application, which would allow for an approval or denial to occur much sooner for those who are getting their applications in sooner. So for example, if we had all applications must be received by May 1st, if someone submits their application at the end of March, the TIF committee could technically review it and approve it within the first week or two of April. And then that person or applicant would not have to be waiting until after May 1st to find out if they were approved or not. So it's kind of a rolling basis approval based on when they get their applications in, but there would be a date by which we said, we're not going to accept any more applications.
It'll be up to the board to set the time frame, and then we can modify that particular paragraph to be consistent.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Josh, this is Kimberly. I just have a quick comment. I see the validity in a rolling approval, but I don't want to put a specific timeline on that. We are relying on a volunteer-based committee, and I don't want to have to say within 10 days their application will be approved or denied. I think we say it will be approved on a rolling basis, but not actually give a specific time frame within that, and still keep a deadline for all applications being approved.
Understood.
Thank you.
I think that's a good idea.
What do you think of the deadline to complete September 30th, and then the extension, the possible extension, but a hard deadline of October 31st?
No extensions.
Okay.
Just a hard deadline is my gut feeling on it. And I'm not sure, I mean, we still have decent weather in October. I don't think it's going to take anybody that long. I'm open for discussion, but I still think September is fine. It is, but October works for me too.
October's fine. Give them as long as we can in one construction season to have that make sense. But I think, I mean, my biggest concern is getting it advertised, getting applications in, and getting it started quicker than we did last year.
I think that a lot of businesses know it's coming up from
I
last
think
year.
because of last
And then also Main Street is really offering to help us a lot to get the word out and to, I don't want to speak for Main Street. Does anybody, I don't know if anyone wants, I'll just, a little bit that I know from Main Street. I don't want to speak for Main Street. So was there a point where you can come up with some ideas for us to, okay, so they've talked about helping the business owners. It's going to be a much quick, I think it'll be a better process this year than it was last year, for sure.
Yeah, I think we met last night as a board, and just I'm the liaison, so I'm not on the board. But Kimberly, I believe you guys talked through, this is going to be an automated online process, not just paper anymore. So I think it's going to be, well streamlined and much easier for folks to apply. And then Main Street itself is going to get involved and solicit businesses into the application.
And then from the little bit of conversation I had with them as well, they're actually willing to come alongside the business owners and help them fill out the application and move it along and make it all happen. So there'll be a lot more for people like, I'm pretty computer illiterate. And I know some other business owners that we literally had to hand in the paperwork for them. Like, I mean, you know, and so that's gonna be much more helpful this year. And then what about for the cutoff for the applications? April 18th on here was last year. Do we have a different date or do you have something in mind?
I have a recommendation, but it is up to you guys. I think we will be ready, as George mentioned, the application will be all online. We're working through that right now on how to get it so that it downloads as a full packet for the committee and for the board. And I think we will be ready to hit the ground running right after your March meeting, once you approve the final application and be ready to go. I think we give kind of a 30-day timeframe, end of March, so that people know by, 1st of April and they can get started on their project. That's my recommendation. Especially with Main Street being able to go into businesses, help them fill out that application. It will be a little bit more streamlined.
So, but for people that maybe haven't done their homework, to rely on getting a contractor and to get a bid in just a 30-day window might not be doable.
Okay,
So
understood.
perhaps we want to give them a little bit
I
longer.
would agree, because you're gonna have to submit with a quote with that contractor's W-9, right? And you gotta get the building owner to come alongside that as well, right? So
Agreed.
I think 30 days is a little short.
Okay.
Does anybody have a different suggestion on a timeline? Anybody? David?
So we'd be looking for application submittals, say
Okay.
you went 60 days from.
60 days?
Well, April 1st, open application submittals and, May 30th, whatever.
That's what Aaron just recommended, is maybe a 60-day, May
Okay.
31st kind of, deadline for that.
But our intention is to open in early March.
I would say we will be ready to roll in early March. So that'll give them a
Good.
significant
So would
amount
that
of
be
time.
like right after our March meeting? Like
Yeah.
we approve it, then it would be open like
Correct.
the next day or that day?
Correct.
So when is that meeting?
And I like that because then you all can approve the application, then you can come to council, discuss how this has been approved, and we can do a little bit of marketing around it. I think that'll be a much better process to do May 31st as the deadline.
We're the 3rd.
March 3rd is the
March 3rd.
PDA's meeting.
So April and May. So would we say May 3rd or May 1st or just, do you guys have a suggestion?
My suggestion would be May 31st. Just let them have all the way up until summer starts.
And to clarify, I think we're talking about two dates. One is the opening of the
Yes.
applications, and the
Yes.
other one is the closing.
Yes.
So for the opening, would March 13th or March 16th be a good date? Enough time for the DDA to get in front of city council?
Do we need to get in front of city council?
Josh, I think we'll be ready earlier than that. I think,
March
have
6th?
yeah, I think we're gonna have that application done here in the next week or two, and then for the board to approve at their March meeting, we'll be ready to roll. So March 6th seems sufficient.
And then do we want to close open application 15 days earlier and then give them the period to resolve any, notarizations and that kind of stuff?
So I will say with the process that we're going to be doing, there is a checklist and it will not allow them to submit without a full complete application. That's going to help staff a lot. So we actually won't need that, go back to them, get more stuff. So I think we can remove that from the guideline. We're really trying to make this streamlined for you and for staff.
So let me recap. So we're not talking March 3rd. We're talking the 16th, somebody mentioned?
6th.
The 6th, okay. It's the 6th, and
And
then
60 days.
in 60 days. So that would
That
be the
would-
6th of May.
Consenting on, yeah.
Is that something that you guys could all get on board with?
Yeah.
I see this. We need to take a vote on that, or how does that work?
Just general consent.
Josh, we need to take.
No, y'all can just provide me direction. Y'all will actually vote to approve the program at the March 3rd
Okay,
meeting.
And then, Josh, when do we need to, so we would have to put the committee together at that
yeah,
point
I think
as
we
well?
need to discuss that today too. Yes.
Okay.
So do we have those dates then, Josh? Do you have those dates?
So y'all want to do May 6th as the
Hard cut.
bye?
Yes.
Do we want to do May 6th or do we want to have our meeting is the 5th in May. Do we want to have a chance to have that at our meeting to at least discuss?
So
if
May,
there's anything-
so May 3rd.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Would that be okay with you, Kimberly, if it was May 3rd?
Absolutely, whatever your recommendation is, we will make it work.
Josh, it came up May 3rd might be better because then we would have some of those applicants, the applications at our meeting.
Well, I think the de facto would probably be the 1st, which is Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't do it on the 3rd because it's a Sunday. If there's any issues with submitting the application, they won't have anyone to reach out to. Assuming that there might be one or two last minute submitters. And I guess I'm kind of wondering if you do have a committee, which this date of when applications must be submitted might be dependent on that. If you do have a committee, then there probably won't be anything that would come before you on May 5th related to applications. If you decide not to have a committee and you would have the board be looking at all of the applications, then yes, having it, close on May 1st, so that way it can be ready and before y'all on May 5th would make sense. Although May 1st is still a little bit of a tight deadline because we usually have the packet going out on May 1st or the Friday before the Tuesday meeting. So we would probably want to push the deadline back a little bit further to give staff time to get everything into a packet. Or everything would come to y'all in June. But again, that's really going on whether or not you create the committee for approvals.
No, that's a good point because we don't need the board's approval. It's the committee's approval. That's a good point I didn't think about. Yeah.
Josh, is it your recommendation that if there is a committee, they would then at the meeting, just give an update on what has been approved and or denied?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we still don't have a hard date for the closing then, correct? Is that the date we're still talking about?
Yes.
Well, should we talk about whether or not we're going to create a committee?
We are going to create a committee. We haven't done that yet. Do you want us to do that first?
Well, from the board's perspective in general, having a little bit of discussion about that would probably be good.
Okay.
So if y'all want to discuss that, and if you give me the direction that says in general, the board is saying, yes, we want to go ahead and go with the committee, then we would create the committee at the next meeting at the same time you're approving this program. But just knowing that will allow us to know when we're going to close out the application window. Does that make sense? Or did I confuse?
It added a lot more to it for me, but I guess it makes sense. Since I don't understand, it must be politics, government, it must be right.
Well, in general, okay, board, well, let's talk about it on creating the committee. If y'all would go ahead and have a discussion about that and then give me direction from the board on whether or not y'all want to have a committee that's going to be reviewing and approving the applications and the final reports.
I think that it is up to us to have the committee because it's a lot of extra work for the city. And I don't think Main Street wants to do it either.
Shouldn't.
And shouldn't. And
Yeah.
so it should be up to this board up here for a couple of people that might be interested in doing that. So that being said, is there anybody that's interested in doing it?
I'll do it.
John? Is there anybody else? We'd like two. At
Due
least,
to a conflict of interest, I would know.
okay.
I'll do it.
So does anybody else would everybody here be okay with John and Eric being that committee? I see a bunch of heads shaking yes, Josh.
Are there any concerns
Of those two
board
guys?
members? No, of them too, but of the board members. I just want to make sure that everyone's being heard. I know last year there were concerns from some of the board members about the applications not coming before the board as a whole. And so I just want to make sure that everyone on the board, or at least the majority, are of the position that the committee is the direction they want to go.
Both of these people have been involved with this since the beginning of this process, and I trust them both. I don't know, does anybody else have any concerns?
No, no concerns.
No? I don't
Okay.
hear any concerns, Josh, from this board.
great. Just wanted to make sure that everyone was getting their voice heard if they had something to say. I'm hearing from the board that y'all want to go forward with the committee. So I will revise the program, accept the edits that I've made. I'll bring that back to y'all at the March meeting. And at the March meeting, we'll also go forward with actually creating the committee and appointing members. It's not on your agenda today, so I'm not going to advise that we move forward with the formal creation of the committee today, but it is something that we'll take care of at the next meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
Can we review the dates though? I just want to, I know, David
Yes.
mentioned the expiration being out to October. So Josh, what do you have in terms of the start, the opening of the application, the closing of the application and the, what would call that
The hard
expired?
cutoff.
Yeah, the hard cutoff at the end.
That needs to be done and submitted, that the work needs to be done and submitted.
Yes, great. So March 6th is the opening of the application. The application deadline, now that we know there's going to be a committee, so the applications won't be all coming back to the board for review and approval. What date would y'all like to use as the closing of the application period?
I still like May 1st, and that way, I mean, don't expect them to get through the applications, but at least provide a report of numbers, applications, funding, that aspect.
Why does it have to be the first, April 1st?
Just so we can
No,
tally for the next,
Oh, just so we can see it for the next,
just to
because
understand how it's working and if something's big that needs to be discussed.
The issue that Josh brought up was they pushed the packet out on that day, so it would
And-
almost have to be
and also-
April 30th.
I'm not even sure that the volunteers would even have time to look at any of them.
And I'm not looking for them to have reviewed every application by that
Just-
date,
okay.
just provide an overall synopsis of how many they've received.
Okay.
And
So Josh, do you have a concern with that?
And I'd like Kimberly's input on that too.
Yeah.
I was going to say I would look to city staff. I don't, if it's just a report, I
Yeah.
don't see a problem with the packet. Because I wouldn't be including materials in the packet.
Right.
The report
Right.
would just come from staff, but it's whether or not they would have time to get that information available for y'all.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be in the packet. It would just be done as a report. And
Yep.
May 1st. I think that would be sufficient time, especially since we're doing this electronically. It'll be a lot easier to compile. And it'll just be a running list of who was approved. So
Can we get a running list of as they're approved possibly, or once a week in our email chain too? So then everybody would have access to that, to read that and see that? Or is that possible, or is that too much extra?
Chair, as you will be sitting on the committee, it sounds like, if you would like,
I'm not.
oh, you're not.
It would be Eric and John Hughes.
Oh, that John, sorry.
Yes.
Too many Johns. Yeah, I mean, if you guys wanted to do that, once we got you those applications, if we wanted to coordinate an email to let you guys know that, we could do that, or it still would be on record at the meeting with a full list, but to keep you guys updated, we could do that.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for formal completion at our EDA board meeting in May, but I just anticipate that there might be some aspect that they want to discuss with the full board and give them that up.
Did you have some input, Mark?
I just had a question, Bubba.
Sure. Does it pertain to the micro grants?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, absolutely. So someone submits an application in March, then what's the soonest they would get approval of their application? Is it like on a 30-day rolling?
We haven't, it's because we discussed that a little bit earlier, if I remember, because it's volunteers, when the volunteers can get to it. There's no hard, like, you need 10 days to do this.
Okay.
We would definitely have a final approval date after that May 1st close.
Close.
But we would like to approve on a rolling. It just wouldn't have a specific date attached
Yep.
to it. But I would like to see within 15 days, within 21 days of that May 1st close, we would have final decisions.
And they'd be notified at that point? It's not like waiting to the next DDA board meeting to be.
No.
Okay.
An
That's-
email goes out with an award letter saying,
Okay.
congratulations, you've been awarded.
Perfect.
Here's the grant agreement, please sign. It would have all of the information within that email.
Got it. Okay, perfect. That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you. And board, just to, when you guys are talking about the final deadline at the end, you need to keep in mind that that needs to be the final deadline for receiving that final report. So work and the report needs to be in by that final deadline. So I know you guys were discussing either September or October. If work is finishing in October, they may need until that October date to get that final report and all those photos and the narrative. But that's, up to what you guys would like to see.
Josh, I have a question on the committee.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to today put up to vote to all the board members, the nominees for this committee? Or is that something that you'll bring forward at the next meeting and then we take a vote on it and approve it?
It'll be at the next meeting and you'll take a vote and approve it at the next meeting.
Is that proper protocol? I don't want to get
Yeah,
myself in any trouble here.
You're good.
Okay.
Yes, Chair. It's not on the agenda for today, so just for public transparency, we'll have it on the agenda next month, specifically showing that the board's going to be considering the creation and approval of a committee.
Okay.
For the deadline for the final report, is it going to be September or October? If it is October, it would be October 30th.
Okay.
At least we wouldn't do the 31st because that's a Saturday.
30th, yeah, October 30th is what we talked about.
Not into October, right? September.
No,
Like,
what?
is it October 30th now?
Yeah.
So we gave them another month. All right, you guys.
Construction
All
win.
right.
The
right.
construction win.
It's good. It's good. It's fair. All right.
John,
Yes, sir.
would, on the composition of this committee, would representation from Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Group be of value?
For which for what?
For this committee that we're talking about?
I don't think we want to,
Okay,
I don't think so.
I was just wondering.
I don't think we want to bring it in. No, I don't want to.
I think you'll see some participation, hopefully, from Keep Woodland Park Beautiful with Main Street doing just
Yeah.
some of that
Sure.
rounding up and helping. But up on the committee itself, I would
Would not be
not, yeah,
what we would need. Okay,
It's a DDA program, so it's our responsibility
Yeah.
to.
yeah, it's ours, yeah.
Oh, Josh, at one point we considered, and I know Chair Gamelke will shake his head at this, which is totally fine. But at one point we considered prioritizing new applicants over previous applicants. Is that in here? Or no? We didn't go there.
No, no, it's not in here.
Okay, so then I have to report back to Main Street then. That is not a requirement then.
I don't think it is. And with the extra, we put in an extra 50,000 this year.
Mhm.
And we didn't spend all that we had last year either. We didn't spend the full 150.
got really close, right?
No, I think it was in 130 something.
So as far as application wise, it went over, but what was
Yeah.
actually completed and paid out, it was 138,000.
Right.
Oh,
I thought it was one, yeah.
Okay.
And there may be, I'm hoping there's not some of that this time because there's a longer window and people know it's coming up.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we may stretch the upper limit this year and may have to prioritize applications.
that'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be a great problem to have. Yeah.
Cool.
Are we done with this part? I think that was the longest part.
I can
Thank
go
you
through the
so much.
deadlines again if y'all want to, just to clarify. So at the March meeting for the DDA, will be reviewing the program and giving its approval, its official approval of it. I'll revise it based on the notes today. You'll also then be creating your committee and voting your members into the committee. Then on March 6th, the application window will open for applications to be submitted to the city. That will stay open until May 1st, which will be the deadline for applications to be submitted. And then October 30th is the hard deadline for the final report for all projects that have been approved to be completed and to submit all of their documentation to the committee and the committee for final review and approval of payment for reimbursement. Does that sound correct to everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have. And I'll be sure to get with city staff to confirm that the application procedures are in line with what they are going to be doing with Main Street on accepting applications.
Thank you so much.
You are more than
Awesome.
welcome.
And Kimberly, thank you so much.
Okay, that's it. That's all I had for this one.
All right. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
That went quicker than I thought. That's good. Amen. Item number 7, public comment. Is there any public comment on matters not on the agenda? Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss? No? Board, does anybody have anything they want to discuss?
Just your conversation with Tyler.
I'm bringing it up on my, yeah.
I do have one item for your consideration.
Okay.
April 7th is the DDA scheduled meeting for April. We do have the election scheduled that day, so we either need to find another meeting room or we need to reschedule the meeting date. So if you'd like, I can look at the cultural center for that day if that is available. I don't know for sure that it is. Otherwise, we could look at a different date.
Won't know. The March meeting is kind of a big meeting. Will we, I mean, I don't like to cancel meetings, but do you think, what would be, if we canceled it, is that gonna hurt anything? We don't know what we would have coming up, right?
Correct.
And the top, that's kind of a big, now top, there's a
And-
lot going on.
And you don't have to make a decision today. I can come back at the next meeting and let you know if the room is available. If it is, I'll have it reserved at the cultural center if that works for you all. Otherwise, we can look for a different date.
I think we should still keep the April meeting, it's just now finding where, or if we move it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, if we need to. move
Please.
to the Cultural center. that'd be
Thank you,
great. Thank
Josh. Thanks for bringing that up. It's kind of a big month. Could be a big,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big deal, yeah.
They're towards the end and.
There's an alternative spot.
Does it include drinks and steaks?
Well, you feed right.
I mistakes.
We could also look at the golf course as well. So we'll find a
That'd
spot.
be way cool. That'd be pretty neat. All right, thank you.
It's fine.
All right. Board chair report. So do you guys, I have a couple of things. One is not on the agenda. I was approached by Tyler Lambert, the fire chief. Do you guys remember a few years back, we gave them $150,000 grant to go towards a fire truck? They are asking if that $150,000 was specifically for a brand new fire truck, which is in the millions, or a new fire truck to them that would be better than the one that they have now. And so they're asking for some clarification. I'm thinking that it would be towards a new fire truck for them that would suit their needs today versus the fire truck that they have now that does not meet the needs that they have today. But I'd like to get the rest of the board's input on that.
Right.
And we need to discuss that today because they have an auction coming up and a chance to buy a much nicer fire truck than they have now 30-foot longer reach than they have now, more water pressure than they have, just a much, much better truck. But the auction is coming up in just a few weeks, and the fire truck is actually from Longmont, Colorado. So it'd be much closer, we wouldn't have to ship it in. And so they're asking for that clarification. And so I'm asking the board what your feel is for it.
Whatever works for them.
Can you put your mic, please? You've been
Well, the
quiet
intent
today.
was to help.
That's,
You
yeah.
know, and if they feel that's better, use, why would we object?
Al, do you have an opinion?
Yes, I would certainly concur. If the truck that they're looking at is, we'll say, reviewed mechanically so that it will perform their particular needs, I'm all for that. Absolutely.
Mr. Fireman, yourself, do you have an opinion? Whatever they need?
Yeah, fire is such a big, important problem here that whatever's right.
Yeah. Well, he sent me a pretty, I don't need to read the whole email. I wouldn't think I need to read it. I think that's what they were looking for was that input. It's a much better fire truck. And they, with the money that they set aside as well as the money that we have, they would be able to get that inspected, certified, and up and running, no problem. So is that the consensus? Is yeah, it's okay? Okay, thank you. For sure. All right. And then I'm super excited about Main Street coming on and helping us. Thank you so much. It's really gonna make it better this year. It's just, I hear there's a lot of excitement from the people that you've talked to as well and volunteers. And could you please give us a little bit on the meeting that you had last night?
Yeah, we had our volunteer kickoff meeting last night, and there was a lot of great comments about wanting to help businesses with that and just come alongside them, really make sure they, knew what they could use the grant for, how to fill out the grant application, what the process looks like. So we've got several people that specifically signed up to be on the DDA micro grant Main Street helping, part of the volunteerism. So pretty excited about that.
And then we did get a core request, and our lawyers are honoring that. And I think it was for the last month of December of last year, the last month of last year. So I'm sure that they will get what they need on that. And that's all that I have. Treasurer report, please.
So we have one invoice from December of 2025 dated January 6th. It's for the amount of $6,221.25. It's for legal counsel through the grant and DDA representation. I have already signed it. It's ready for Harry DeMelke to sign.
Thank you.
And that's it. That's all we got. So.
Any board members have anything they'd like to talk about? It's now board member reports.
Well, John, something just popped in my head.
Yes, sir.
Is this micro grant that we're doing, is this unique? Is this something that with DDAs is common practice? I'm just curious. Where'd you come up with the idea?
Through conversations with people smarter than I am. How's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but are we kind of?
I don't know that answer. I mean, we had to ask. I know that we went to our legal counsel to ask if it was something that we could even do before we came to the board with it. And they said, yes, it is something we can do. So I think it's been good.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree.
I would hope that maybe other DDAs that are in a position that we are in might think about it, but I don't know. It's not like I went someplace and read it and saw that other DDAs were doing it, but maybe we set an example for what others can do. I don't know.
Set a precedent. No, that's cool. I just kind of wanted, it's a neat program. It's has a lot of benefit to the city. And so I was just curious.
Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, John,
Yes, sir.
I would probably suspect that we need to have a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay the bill.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, thank you, sir.
And board would so move.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a second.
We'll take a vote.
Bourne, yes.
Good, yes.
Cabrera, yes.
Gamelke, yes.
Jones, yes.
Yes, yes.
You, yes.
Salazar, yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Got it.
Thank you, Al. I got so excited. Oh, wow.
Um,
Al, it's short.